Hi, I'm Dr. Laurent Bannock and I'm the Director of the Institute of Performance Nutrition. In this episode of our Science to Practice overview series, I'll be focusing on high protein diets and body composition. Now, the whole topic of weight loss is a very popular one. There's lots of ideas, there's lots of theories, and there's also some research on this very topic. But before we take a deeper dive, we need to point out the very first thing that you need to know is that an energy deficit, or a calorie deficit if you like, is crucial to induce a reduction in body weight. But we're not just interested in reducing body weight. What we want to do is influence positively is body composition. And typically what we actually are aiming for is the ultimate goal of promoting a high quality fat loss. Now, what we mean by that is a reduction in fat mass whilst at the same time preserving lean muscle mass. The reason why this is a little bit tricky is because when people engage in a diet and reduce their calories, get into an energy deficit, yes, they will lose body mass. But what they're not necessarily doing is promoting a high quality fat loss. And what we see from the research in people doing this is that over 25% of their body mass loss, 25% of their weight loss is actually from lean muscle mass. And this is not good for two particular reasons. Number one, it can impede further weight loss due to the negative impact this will have on metabolism. But also this can compromise performance, which will be particularly worrying to recreational athletes and elite or professional athletes. So this is where nutrition can come in and help save the day, so to speak. And what we see in the research is that high protein diets, which we'll define as 1.5 grams to 3 grams per kilogram of body weight, may well be able to attenuate the loss of muscle mass during calorie or energy deficits. So in the research, and in particular in this randomized control trial, which is published in a high quality journal, scientists explored the effects of varying levels of dietary protein on body composition and muscle protein synthesis during an energy deficit. And in this particular study, what the scientists did was they had 39 overweight adults put into 3 different groups, where the only difference was the amount of protein that they consumed. In group 1, they consumed the RDA of protein, which is 0.8 grams per kilogram per day. The second group consumed twice that, and the third group consumed 3 times the RDA. They were also put onto a 10-day intervention, which was a weight maintenance promoting diet, which was then followed by 21 days of an energy deficit, a 40% energy deficit diet. So what happened? What did the scientists find in their study with these subjects? Well, firstly, what they found, and this was not the surprising finding, that they lost body weight. And that was because they were in a 40% energy deficit. They also found that the total amount of body weight lost was similar between all of the conditions assessed. However, and this is what is important about this, is that the source of this weight loss was different between the conditions. And in particular, what they found was that the proportion of weight loss due to reductions in fat-free mass was lower, and the loss of fat mass was higher in those receiving twice and 3 times the RDA as compared to those in group 1 that were consuming only the RDA for protein. Also, and rather interestingly, they found that there was no significant difference between twice and 3 times the RDA. So what are the take-home messages from this research? Well, firstly, we now know that consuming dietary protein at levels above the RDA spared fat-free mass while promoting the loss of body mass in response to a short-term moderate energy deficit. They also found in this research that consuming dietary protein at levels beyond twice the current RDA did not confer further fat-free mass protection. However, this sample was overweight individuals, and this may not translate directly to different kinds of athletes and the elderly, where in fact emerging research does suggest that high levels of protein is advantageous. So the key take-home message from this ultimately is that normal and overweight individuals, as well as athletes, will likely benefit from consuming more protein than current recommendations for healthy weight loss during periods of an unavoidable or a planned energy deficit. So I know you're going to want to read deeper into this topic, and my first recommendation is that you read our position stand paper on diets and body composition, and in particular go to pages 7 and 8 in that paper where we focus on high protein diets specifically. And this paper is open access, easily available. Just simply Google diets and body composition ISSN. You can also listen to my podcast with the lead author and one of the other authors, episode 100 in my We Do Science podcast, where we discuss this in great detail, diets and body composition, and specifically we also cover high protein diets. And if you really want to go deep into sport and exercise nutrition, you can actually train to become a highly trained specialist in sport and exercise nutrition with our online diploma in performance nutrition. And you can learn about that as well as access our podcast and the other resources and outputs that we produce at the IOPN at our website, which is www.theiopn.com. I, of course, am Dr. Laurent Bannock, and I look forward to bringing another one of these overview presentations back to you very soon. Take care, and thank you for listening.